charge of the rest of our lives.
Good afternoon. Yan. It's 2 o'clock. We'll start. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us in our training here this afternoon. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. So if you can let me know that you're here lang by typing in the chat that you're here, where you're watching from, that would be cool. You can just say something like, hi, I am Julian, and then let me know what business you're in. And then, and let me know where you're watching from. So that will let me know, oops, stop. And let me know, just what you're excited to learn here. Jean from Ambient Dental. You can use the chat, not the Q&A. Yung Q&A, you can put your questions there. So Mel's here from an auto detailing shop in Quezon City. That's great. With that, we have friends from Cavite, from Bacoor. Eva here is a financial advisor. Edgar just started their cafe egg drop sandwich. Oh, nice. Better let us know what that is. We love egg drop sandwiches. Automation Keep certified partner. Nice. Watching from Pampanga, right? So hi everyone, welcome. So it's being recorded then so that you can watch this again over the weekend, because definitely may mga mapipick up kayo. May mga, when you watch the recording, there will be some things that you'll pick up that you didn't pick up this afternoon, because it's going to be a lot. So I can tell you ngayon pa lang, it's going to be a lot. I'll try to be as fast as I can para we don't take up too much of your time, pero still being able to make sure that you're getting all the learnings, because definitely there's a lot here. Specifically, what you learn in this workshop is the elements of a highly optimized Facebook ad that converts. If you've been doing Facebook ads from before, you know that you're spending to reach your target audience to be able to put your message in front of them. And sayang naman if it's not optimized for you to actually, get the attention of your target audience and start that conversation with them. I'll also teach you the only copy formula you'll need for any industry. We'll actually teach you three. Yeah, I'll teach you 3 copy formulas. But I'll teach you you'll also, one of those would be my favorite, yung ginagamit ko up until today. For a lot of you got here through my own ads, and we actually used that formula for that ad as well. Now, and my formula for being able to create profitable ad campaigns for myself and my clients, and my students as well. Not just the ads. So we'll talk about the ad in itself a lot here, but I'll tell you all of the different factors that come into a profitable ad campaign, because I want you to be able to come out of here with new learnings on how to really make profits from your Facebook ad. Right? So let me introduce myself. My name is Julian Canita. You can call me Julian. And I'm a Facebook ad strategist and coach. I've been doing Facebook ads for almost 8 years already. And I've been teaching it for about 6 years already. I'm the CEO of Julian Canita Marketing Solutions. That's my Facebook advertising agency, where we do this for our clients across different industries and all over the world. Right? I'm also the creator of the School of Awesomeness. That's our learning platform, where if you want to learn more about Facebook ads, digital marketing, and everything in between, I definitely want to check that out. I'm also a transformational life coach, as well as an ICF certified executive coach, supporting business leaders in being able to grow their business to 6, 7, and even 8 figures. I'm also a podcaster, DJ, author, human design leader. And yeah, marami akong ginagawa sa life. But really, with all of the things I do, my mission really is to support or to empower 1 million entrepreneurs, to empower their audience by making meaningful connections on social media. And that's really what I want to do. I went into business really learning that for a lot of people, they're in business, of course, to make money, but also, to help out other people. Something I'll discuss later is about how entrepreneurs, we sell things, and those things that we sell really are solving problems for people. So my belief is that entrepreneurs help people. And my hope, my contribution to this world is to be able to, to bring the good work that you do to the people that need you. Kasi my goal specifically for this training is, again, I believe that entrepreneurs help people. And at the same time, most entrepreneurs want to make money. So my goal is to be able to help you make money through connecting you with more people to help. And that's what Facebook ads can do. That's what a highly optimized Facebook ads can do. It can connect you with the right people who need your services, who need your products. And when you're able to sell more to more people, you're able to make more money, which is nice, diba? So being upfront, I want you to make more money because I believe that when you make more money, for at least for some of you, not for everyone naman, but at least for some of you, having more money means hindi mo na masyadong problema yung pera. And you can have more time, more energy in doing things that you like. Doing more of your advocacy, or at least living the life that you want to live and joyfully shining your light. And as a result, you actually get to empower others, joyfully shine their light as well. So this is my belief. It doesn't have to be yours, but that's my belief. That's why I want you to really take what we'll be teaching today and profit from it and basically help more people with it. And I do this because my belief talaga is that we live in a world of joyful expression and limitless possibilities. That's why I do all of the things that I do, because I believe that this is life. I believe that life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is not meant to be stressed over na tipong saan mo kukunin yung pangbayad ng bills or pangbayad ng team mo or whatever. So that's what I want for you. That's my hope for you. And in my own way, I do this through Facebook ads. Right? The same way you do it through whatever business you're in. Now, I've been doing Facebook ads for over 8 years already. So I can say naman that the experience is there. I've tested a lot of things across different industries, from financial advisors to online course creators to doctors with clinics to selling fightwear to solar panels and everything. And throughout my journey of doing this for other people, I've basically come up with what I call the profitable ads formula. And the profitable ads formula is basically just 9 parts of the puzzle that really makes an ad campaign work. And not only work, make it profitable. Sabi na today, kaya naman tayo nag-ads because it's bringing us more sales and more profits. And most people think na I just do a setup, get ko to or whatever, then dapat okay na yun. But there's actually 9 components to it. And I'll teach you each one of those naman. But the main, yung main na gusto ko i-share sa inyo in this particular training is the most central one. Meaning, ito palang ma-nail ninyo, it's gonna do a lot for your campaigns already. And that is the ad. Diba? So out of these 9 parts, ito actually yung pinaka-central. Okay? And that's why we'll teach you what I call the optimized ad. Right? So can you let me know in the chat, are you ready to learn, to learn the framework of the optimized ad? Yes, nice. And so there's not just a training na pakikinggan nyo in the background. I will actually require, but for fun, I will request you to participate. No? Not forced to, but it'd be nice if you do. Now, starting with answering my question. My first question that I want to ask you is, teka muna, what do we mean by optimized ba? Can you let me know in the chat? What do we mean by optimized? As I'll take a sip of water lang para hindi masakit sa throat. Yes, it's recorded. Ad is already doing well. Thank you. It's full potential. Spot on ads. Thank you for those who are responding. Effective and efficient. Okay. Let's take a look at what Google had to say. Yung sinerch ko siya. So ang sabi niya, for optimized daw, it means the best or most effective use of. So the best or most effective use of. Okay, so if that's the case, I want to ask you, what do you think is the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad? And to answer this, to make this fun, I want you to open up to a new browser. Now, if you're on desktop, just open to a new browser. If you have a mobile phone, go to www.facebook.com menti.com, enter the code, and it will ask you this question. And my request is for you to answer it. Just by one word, couple of words, let me know what you think. And I'll share with you something cool once you answer it. So go to menti.com, www.menti.com, and type in the code. And in your own way, what do you think is the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad? I'll wait for your answers. And I'll show you something cool as you answer it. So again, open to a new window or a new browser on your phones or on your desktop, wherever you're watching from. Go to www.menti.com and use the code. And let me know what the answer is. Code is not working. Wait lang. 473, wait lang. 473673. Sorry, 7362. Wait, napapakita ko na nga sa inyo. sorry, that was my bad. I'll show you the code. When you share. Here we go. Kaya pala wala pa nakakapasok. Yan. 476. Mali, sorry. I'll put the link in the chat then. Yan. So, as you enter your answers, you'll see it on the screen. And the more common the answers are, the more you'll see it in the middle. So I just want to get a gauge on what most of you or what a lot of you understand to be the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad. I'll give you a few more seconds. So kung lumalabas siya sa middle, that means that yun yung parang answer ng majority or common answers. Right? So far, ang lumalabas sa answers are traffic and sales. So meaning for a lot of people, the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad is sales or traffic. All right, thank you for those that answered. Sige, let's talk about that. Let us sige, meron pa. Thank you for participating. Meron pa akong mga ganyan in a bit. Sige. So, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad. Pero I'll tease you a bit. Okay? I'll tell you first what it is not. Again, this is my learning throughout my 8-year career. I'm not here to make you believe anything you don't want to. But for me, the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad is not to sell. Right? And for a lot of people, this is the frustration. The measure of a good ad for them or an optimized ad is it should sell. Meaning if I run my ads and then I put money behind it and I put all the details of my product, dapat bebenta yan. Kaya kung hindi nakakakuha ng sales, then it means that Facebook ad is not working. No, but one thing I want you to get from this training here, the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad is not to sell. So what is? Okay, I'll ask you the same question, but this time I will give you choices. Right? So hopefully you're watching this via desktop kasi I don't think lalabas yung poll option sa I don't think lalabas yung poll option sa mobile, but I will launch it now. So if you're on desktop, you should see a poll in front of you asking you what you think the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad is, and it has 4 choices. Now, 4 choices is to convert your audience. Number 2 is to get your audience to actively show interest. Number 3 is to get your audience to respond. And number 4 is to get your audience's attention. So I narrowed it down to 4. What do you think is the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad? Again, number 1, to convert your audience. Number 2, to get your audience to actively show interest. Number 3, to get your audience to respond. And number 4, to get your audience's attention. So I'll give you a few more seconds. I see a lot of people answering now, but I'll give you a few more seconds. Okay, end. So I ended it now. Thank you for your answers. I'll share with you the results. And for half of you, half of the ones that respond, sabi nyo, it's to get your audience's attention. And then the rest, medyo split naman, says to convert, to get your audience to actively show interest, or to get your audience to respond. Okay, so thank you. Okay. Now let's talk about it. The reason why I gave you those 4 options is because what I want you to also learn is that the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad, hindi nga is, it's are. I don't know if any, ito hindi ko pwede ma-check but I don't know if any of you noticed, but you could have answered all 4 of the choices that I gave. Because the best and most effective use of a Facebook ad are to get your audience's attention, to get your audience to respond, and to get your target audience to actively show interest. Number 3, to convert your target audience. And number 4, to get your audience to respond. Now, some of you might sit there and think, hindi ba confusing kung ang dami namang dapat magawa ng ad? Parang kailangan makuha ko attention, at the same time makuha ko yung ma-convert ko sila. So para hindi siya high pressure, and this is the basic framework that we'll talk about today. Now let me add in one word. The best and most effective use of a Facebook ad are, number 1, to get your audience's attention. And then to get your target audience to actively show interest. And then to convert your target audience. And then to get your audience to respond. Now, it took me a while to really realize this. Kasi minsan ako confused ako eh. Minsan sabihin sa akin nung pinag-aaralan ko, dapat yung creative, yung pinakamaganda, kailangan makuha mo yung attention. Bigla may magsasabi, hindi, dapat yung copy, kahit anong creative yan, dapat yung copy pinakamaganda. So I got pretty confused with what to listen to until I realized na yun nga, it really all plays together as parang a team. And where I got this was, I was just browsing through Facebook one day, mga 4 years ago, and I saw this meme. This meme na noong una, natawa ko. And then na-realize ko, very accurate siya. And that became my basis for creating the optimized ad. So I'll share that meme with you in the next slide. And what I want you to do is to look at the meme and let me know in the chat if it's accurate for you or not. Okay? So I'll show you the meme now. So take a look at it and let me know if it was accurate for you or not. Pwede namang hindi. But if you're like most people, this was pretty accurate. Diba? And that is parang the basis of the optimized ad. Yes, I agree na the creative should get your target audience's attention. Diba? Kasi kahit gaano kaganda yung copy mo, if it doesn't get your audience's attention, then it doesn't get read. If it doesn't get read, then there's no traffic, then there's no sales. Diba? Opposite naman, no, it doesn't matter na maganda yung creative mo if you do get the attention of your target audience but your copy is not moving them to action, diba? To take the next step, to click or whatever, then sayang lang din, diba? So the optimized ad really consists of these elements. Number 1, the attention grabber. So we'll dive into each one later. Number 1 is the attention grabber. Number 2 is the hand raiser. Number 3 is the converter. And number 4 is the ask. And if you've been checking the emails I've been sending since you registered, you may have noticed na one of the emails I sent, sabi ko there are 5 elements. So ano yung pang-5? So, ano yung pang-5 element? And I guess for me, the number 1 element is probably the most important here because it will determine how you will do all the other 4. And that's what I call intention. Right? When we talk about intention, I'd love to get a feel, if you can let me know in the chat, what do you mean by intention? When we talk about intention, what does it mean for you? meaningful, purpose, objective. Yeah. I pretty much agree with parang what a lot of you are saying, di ba? And the whole idea here is if you're clear with the intention, di ba, your aim, your objective, everything will follow. Because the way you write your ad, the way you create your ad will depend on your intention. Yeah, like Fritzy's saying, like what you want to achieve. I'll give you an example to illustrate this. A few years ago, I was able to catch like not the game but the post game interview dun sa All-Star Kapamilya game, wherein it was red team was led by Daniel Padilla and the blue team was led by Gerald Anderson. And it was interesting. The interview was interesting kasi unang in-interview si Gerald Anderson. Si Gerald Anderson was so they won, their team won. And then si Gerald Anderson was very high energy, adrenaline, parang, yeah, so proud of my team. We came into here, we had one goal, we wanted to win, and we gave it our all, and very high energy. And then si Daniel Padilla, the captain of the losing team, was smiling, was laughing, wala masyadong pawis, and was saying, well, ganoon talaga yung basketball. No? At least it's so nice to have fun and then see the crowd na nag-enjoy sila and everything. Okay, am I sharing this? Talking about intention, who do you think, just basing on the post-game interview, who do you think had the main intention to win between the two? Just based on their interview. Of course, hindi ko alam, but that's what I felt. Based on my reenactment ng interview nila, who do you think had the intention to win? In my opinion, it was the blue team. Yeah. Say, I felt it. So what do you think the intention of Daniel Padilla was? If it wasn't to win? To have fun, to put on a good show. Of course, this is not verifiable, pero I mean, it's verifiable, pero di ko alam kung totoo. Pero that was what came across to me. Diba? And that's the whole idea. Now, so when we talk about the intention, what is your intention for your ad? Diba? A lot of times people just open up Ads Manager and says, bahala na ko ano ilagay tapos sana bumenta. No, and that type of how do you call it? Disclarity or walang clarity sa intention, yun yung nakakasira eh. And yun yung parang that is what makes an ad not have much meaning or connection. But when you're able to really have a clear intention for your ad, it helps as you write it. So when we talk about your intention, these are certain things that we want to understand. Again, I'll talk about this ng dire-diretso for this training, but make sure that you catch this again in the replay, because I really, really want you to get this. Number one, who is your intended specific target market? Facebook's targeting is fun. You can reach certain people, but it's not perfect. It's not perfect. You might reach people na hindi sila yung target audience mo, and it's fine. But in your mind, when it's clear as you write it, sino ba yung specific target market mo, that comes out in your writing when you write copy. So you want to be clear on who is your intended specific target market. If you're talking to a sea of 1 million people and you can only reach like 1% of them or even less, who would you want to be talking to? Number two, what specific problems of theirs do you intend to resolve? Because again, my belief is that entrepreneurs are here to solve problems, and people buy because people don't we don't buy. A lot of the times we don't buy because of that something is cool and things like that, unless we have money to spend. Most of the time, we buy things to solve a certain problem. So you want to understand what specific problems of theirs do we want to resolve. And sometimes just because the word is problem doesn't mean na problema talaga yung nahanap natin. Now, for example, if you're selling coffee, a problem could be just simply access to coffee, access to delicious coffee at an affordable price, or just to satisfy a craving. Hindi naman siya problem, but it's something that we solve. And then finally, what specific message do you intend to share? Like Loretta saying, to get their trust. So what is the message that you want to put out there to get their trust? Diba? Kasi hindi naman, di ba? Yeah, tama. Diba? We want to get the trust of our target audience, especially when we're selling online. Diba? Maraming scams dyan. We want to show na hindi tayo scam. So what is the message that you want to share? Because when you're clear, di ba, parang ano yung gusto kong malaman ng target audience ko, that helps you make it clear. Right? So I want to unpack these a bit because of, when I share this, some people have resistance to a lot of these things. Number one, specific target market. If you, so maraming nagtuturo like ng marketing out there in different platforms. So if you go to someone teaching Instagram, go to someone teaching TikTok, we can tell you a lot of techniques. But what you'll notice is that most, if not all people who teach some sort of marketing or entrepreneur class, it will always boil down to who is your specific target market. And sometimes pumapasok yun sa tenga ng maraming tao, lalabas lang, sige, target market specific, sige, okay yan. Pero hindi naman siya nasusunod. No, and it's fine, diba? It's fine. But hopefully what you're taking from this, if this is the nth time you've been hearing this, it's because it is really valuable. Especially if you're just starting out. Now, of course, ako hindi ko naman alam how long you guys are in your respective businesses. But what I've found is that quote unquote, the younger you are, the earlier you are in the space, especially if it's a crowded space, the more specificity you have, the better. And as you start to build your reputation, that's when you can start to go broad. That's what I've noticed now. But for example, give an example, I think some of you here are financial advisors. There's 100,000 financial advisors in the Philippines. So how do you stand out? And what I've noticed, now again, just my own observation, the ones that really succeed with it, to start, yung mga bago pa lang na nag-succeed, are those who start with a specific target audience. Now, even if they're selling the same product as 100,000 people in the Philippines, no, someone would target, I help doctors and people in the medical profession. And then yung messaging nila very specific kasi alam nila yung market na yun. My friend, ang target audience niya has been OFWs who want to come home. And another friend of mine, mga nurses, dahil nurse siya. And what I found from these people who chose to be specific with their target audience, when they do their campaigns on social media, on Facebook, it gets a lot more traction than you trying to be everything to everyone. But imagine, let's say, isip ako ng iba pang product. Insurance kasi medyo alam ng familiar lahat. But let's say insurance, you'd sell insurance differently to a new father versus a new grad, a fresh grad na walang pamilya. Diba? So if you're able to segment your target audience that way because specific, diba? You talk to the new grad differently. Iba yung reason niya for wanting to get insurance or investment versus a parent, diba, who wants to get maybe insurance or investment for his children. Diba? But if you try to be insurance and investment for everyone, it's really going to be difficult to stand out. Right? So yeah. So hopefully you're starting to see who is your specific target market. Now let's talk about the specific problem that you want to solve. Now, for some people, I think I shared this on the video that I shared yesterday, if you got that email, where sometimes we are so fixated on how we solve a specific problem that it doesn't connect with our target audience. Because there is a difference between what you market and what you actually do. I'll give you an example, a couple of examples. So one of my friends, he is a coach, and he specializes on healing childhood trauma. And ang target audience niya are business leaders. Business leaders who basically want to develop a relationship with their team members so that they can be more productive. But he goes out there and markets exactly what he does. So he says, "Hi, I'm a coach and I will help you heal your childhood trauma." Now, can you let me know in the chat, if I came up to you and asked you, do you want to heal your childhood trauma? Would you be interested in that? Can you let me know with a yes or a no? If you're like most people, then that's a no. No, I don't want that. And this is what I call the problem solver's dilemma. We know so much about how we solve specific problems that we go ahead and market what we actually do. But as Fritzy's saying in the chat, not a lot of people are aware of it. Diba? So because not a lot of people are aware of it, and you come in that's what you're offering, that's going to be a disconnect. So I'm not saying that we don't offer that. I'm saying that we market to people where they are at. So if I say something like, if I market, hi, I coach business leaders to be able to develop a stronger relationship with their team, so that you're able to be more productive and so that they're able to be more productive. Do you think that would does that increase your likelihood of being interested or decrease? Can you let me know in the chat? If I said, instead of saying I do childhood trauma healing, does that increase I help business leaders develop a stronger relationship with their team so that they can be more productive? Does that increase or decrease your level of desirability for my offer? Diba? It's likely going to increase. Diba? And at the same, may nagbago ba dun sa offer? Wala. I just marketed it to where people were at, marketed it to connect to what people needed. And then in the conversation, I can say na that's definitely something I've done for a lot of people that I can help with you. And not a lot of people know this, but one of the reasons why people have difficulties making good relationships is because of unhealed childhood trauma. And when we're able to explain that connection, that is when, as you guys are saying, nag-i-increase yung desirability and yung demand. So we want to understand, diba? So we want to look at what problems of our target audience are we solving, more than just getting access to coffee and things like that. We want to understand on a deep level ano yung problems that they're experiencing that we can help with. Did you get that distinction? I know it's not something easy na makuha siya, so definitely check back sa recording and practice it. But it can make a big difference. Are you following so far? Can you let me know in the chat? Just type in following if you are. And I appreciate you guys responding kasi at least I know that that you're there and following. Last thing I would want is for you to spend your time with me tapos nalolost pala kayo. So please, so that feedback helps me. Thanks everyone. And then finally, what is the specific message that you intend to share? So what do I mean with message? Diba? You're not talking to AI, yes. And you're not watching AI as well. So this is kulang na lang dyaryo eh. So, sorry, as an aside, have you ever attended those parang trainings na kunwari live pero hindi pala siya live? Yung mga ganun. But anyway, yes, this is live. So what do we mean when I say the specific message you intend to share? Is it just the message na buy my stuff? Diba? Here's what I mean when we talk about the specific message. I want you to think, you don't have to put it sa chat, but just think, why are you here right now? As in this training. If I were to guess, you're here in this training, to learn. You're in this training because you want to improve the way you do your ads so that you can be able to learn new skills and be more profitable. You being here is an action. It's a choice that you chose to do. No, it's an action that you did. But what preceded that action? Why did you choose to be here? For a lot of reasons. You chose to be here, number one, because you believe that I can help you out. You believe that what I'm sharing here today will make a difference in the way that you will do your ads. Those are beliefs that you have. Because beliefs always precede action, whether you're consciously aware of them or not. So if you want people to take a certain action, like to click on your ad, to message you, to inquire with you, just because you tell them to do so doesn't mean na gagawin nila. Parang, click this ad to call me and inquire about our offers. We want to also make sure that, we want to also influence their beliefs that will make the action natural. But you wouldn't be here if you didn't think I could help you. So that's a belief. And by the way, of course, yes, I can help you. So when we talk about the message that that we want our target audience to get from us, we want to look at their beliefs as well. Particularly, we want to understand what is their belief about the problem. Again, we're solving a problem. So you want to understand what's their belief about the problem. Because there are 3 levels of awareness when it comes to a problem. For some people, like yung childhood trauma example natin kanina, a lot of people, they don't even believe that there's a problem. Diba? So how can you get them to inquire and then click on your ad if they don't even believe there's a problem? Diba? Like for example, when I was in the MLM industry, multi-level marketing, diba? And usually ang sinasabi, ang pitch, ang tinuturong pitch sa amin was unlimited income, unlimited income, time freedom, financial freedom. So we would go out with that type of message. But for a lot of people, diba, kaya may disconnect is I would go out there and say, hey, don't stay in that job. There's so much opportunity out there and things like that. So I was trying to create that problem. But for these people, parang hindi mo nila nakikita na may problem. Okay naman yung work ko, stable naman yung job ko. Diba? So because of that disconnect, nahirapan ako to get conversations, to get calls because we were at a different level. Because sometimes your target audience is not aware that there's a problem. So that's one level, unaware. Number 2, there are people who are aware that there's a problem, but they're not familiar na may solution. Alam mo yung mga tipong, yes, I know like my smoking is a problem, pero ganun na eh. Diba? Habit ko na yan eh. But not really realizing na may solution. Usually nasa health and fitness space din to. Alam kong kailangan ko magpapayat pero ang sarap kasi kumain eh. Hindi ko matiis like yung rice or whatever. So these are people who are what I call problem aware. And finally, there are people who are solution aware na alam nila na may problem and alam nila that there's solutions out there and sila yung usually nag-actively look for a solution. This is where most people are marketing at. No, parang talking to people who are solution aware, not realizing na baka nasa unaware or problem aware stage yung target audience nila. Right? So even if you have even the same target audience, let's say entrepreneur parents, even that specific target audience can be in different levels of awareness sa problem. And when they're in different levels of awareness, nag-iiba yung message. So you want to look at, if I were to speak to my ideal target audience, my ideal lang naman, are they more in the unaware stage, the problem aware stage, or the solution aware stage? Because once you start to identify saan sila dito, then you can look at the specific message that you intend to share. Because if your target audience is in the unaware stage, then a lot of the message that you want to put in your ad is to show them that there's a problem. I'll explain each one later when we talk about this part sa ad. But you'll want to look at really being able to show that there is a problem. If your target audience is in the problem-aware stage, you want them to, in your ad, you want them to be able to know that you understand them. Again, I'll give you an example on that later. And if they're in the solution-aware stage, meaning they're actively looking for solutions, so they're probably getting ads and posts from other people na try mo to, try mo to, try mo to. That means there are a lot of thoughts and ideas around that space. Then you'll want to offer a different way to look at things. Because once you shift the way they believe about the different options out there, then they can be more open to looking at new solutions like the one you have to offer. Right? Don't worry, I'll give you copy frameworks for each one para you know exactly how to put it together. But again, the first element of the optimized ad is your intention. So definitely something you'll want to look at is, number 1, who is your intended target market? What specific problem of theirs do you intend to solve? And number 3, what is the specific message that you intend to share? Right? So, yan, number 1 pa lang tayo. Following so far? Can you let me know in the chat? Okay. Cool. Right, great. So yan, number 1 pa lang. let's talk about the second one, the attention grabber. If you notice, so I'll open my Facebook for a bit. If you notice, yung habit natin when we check out Facebook, di ba, is to usually scroll until we find something that gets our attention. And again, sayang naman lahat ng copywriting mo, sayang lahat ng design mo ng website, or ng chatbot mo, or whatever you have after someone clicks your ad, if you don't get the attention of your target audience. That's why the number one thing that we want to look at is the attention grabber. No, and for me, when I say the attention grabber, what I'm referring to here in the optimized ad is your creative. Your creative is the big part of the ad, which is usually an image or a video, or both. Diba? So we want to be able to make sure that your creative gets the attention of your target audience. That's why when we talk about creatives, my personal favorite na adjective to describe the best creative is a scroll-stopping creative. Because what you wanted to do is to get people to stop scrolling. So, to get your target audience to stop scrolling. And what will get your target audience to stop scrolling? It's really in relevance. It should be relevant. So there is no one element na dapat may ganito, dapat may ganyan. Dapat may malaking title that gets the attention. There's no specific thing, but ang important nito is it's relevant to your target audience. Kasi for example, so I have a lot of campaigns where ang target audience namin are parents. So multiple yan, may pedia clinic, may products for babies, yan, basta for parents. And what we found was the creative that gets their attention the most are pictures of families, pictures of babies, of children, na hindi stock photo, but it's, natural lang. Now, it was taken by a phone, hindi siya photo shoot or whatever, but it's a natural photo of families or babies. Now, that same creative, if you put it in front of a different target audience, let's say fresh grads na single, that won't do as well as it will when it's targeting parents. Diba? So does it mean na hindi effective yung picture ng babies? Of course not. It's just, again, that's why it goes back to intention. Sino ba yung target audience mo? Because once you know who your specific target audience is, you will know what is relevant for them. And that is what will get them to stop scrolling. And really with a lot of this, it's a combination of both educated guessing and testing. Educated guessing meaning understanding your target audience and really finding out what is relevant to them. What are my competitors using as their creative? And then testing it out yourself. Letting the numbers tell you where are they responding more. Now, and if we're talking about numbers, my personal benchmark here is a click-through rate all of 5%. Now, CTR all na 5%, you'll find this in your Ads Manager dashboard. So for me, very important sa akin ang numbers. Kasi I don't want to overthink on whether gumagana ba yung ad or hindi. We want our numbers to tell us kung okay ba siya or hindi. That's my benchmark. I don't always hit that. But if I run an ad, tapos yung click-through rate ko is siguro mga 1%, diba? Then I know, okay, I'll improve the creative. Hanap ako ng ibang creative na mas relevant to my target audience. Right? So, what are the general things that I've found to work, which you can use as well? By asking you to identify anong level of awareness yung target audience nyo. And most of the time, again, kaya akong lagay dito to test. Most of the time, what I found is if your target audience is in the unaware stage, meaning they're not aware of that there's a problem, you'll want a creative that calls out their identity. No, meaning, again, for parents, creative that relate to parents. If it's, let's say, young millennials, nakalimutan ko yung after millennials. But if they're young millennials, mga fresh grad, and you want to call them out na, for them to understand na para sa kanila yung ad, you'll want like pictures of people in the same age range. Yan, Gen Z, thank you. You want pictures of people in the same age range. Yung tipong pag nakita mo yung picture or yung video, alam mo na para sa akin to. So something that calls out their identity. Number 2, if they're in the problem-aware stage, you'll want to test creatives that call out their pain. If, for example, perfect example from a student of mine, meron siyang client. Yung client niya, parang she coaches moms na parang nabe-burn out kasi ang daming ginagawa, things like that. Tapos parang pinakita niya sa akin yung ad niya na sinabi ng client niya na gamitin. Tapos parang sabi niya sa akin, Julian, parang parang ayoko gamitin yung photo na to kasi she wants to coach burned out moms pero in the photo, mukhang siya yung burned out. So sabi ko sa kanya, that's exactly why that's the perfect creative to use because you want to call out that pain point. And from what I've heard, this was a couple of weeks ago, from what I've heard, it's working well for them naman. So you want to call out your creative wants to call out the pain point. And then finally, if people are solution aware, but then they're just shopping for different solutions, you want a creative that calls out their desire. A creative na, for example, if you're in real estate, maybe a photo of like a beautiful house, something that you know that they want already. Right? Again, following so far, can you type in a number 8 para random? Type in number 8 if you're following. Thank you, everyone. Oh, nice. So once you've found that creative that gets their attention, diba, we want to be able to make it worth their attention. Have you ever found something that people, parang, parang okay to na nakita mo, you felt like it was for you, and then the more you read it, you stop scrolling na, the more you read it, na-realize mo, parang hindi pala para sa akin to. No? Similar to when you're at the mall, for example, from afar may nakita kang tao and it looked like your friend. Tapos tinawag mo siya, hello, tapos lumapit ka, tapos na-realize mo hindi pala siya. Diba? So that's why the next element is called the hand raiser. Once we get the attention of your target audience, we want to make it known to them now what our ad is specifically for them. And when we talk about the hand raiser, what I'm talking about here is the headline and the opening copy. Because once people stop, the creator stops their scroll, the eyes will immediately go to the headline and yung nakalagay sa opening copy. And if they see na parang hindi naman para sa akin to, malamang mag-scroll yan. So what should be in your headline and opening copy? Basically, it should let the target audience know that it is for them. Because when it is for them, they will decide to continue reading. Again, it doesn't matter kung gaano kaganda at kagaling yung laman ng copy nyo. If people stop scrolling, sees your ad, and then 1 second or 2 seconds, they realize na, ay parang hindi naman para sa akin to, they will scroll past it and not read your ad. So we want to make it known to them very clearly that what we have is for them. And again, similar to earlier, it's a mix of educated guessing and testing. And similar to the benchmark earlier, I use click-through rate all as my gauge to see kung okay yung creative, yung headline and copy ko. And if it's below that, I look to improve it. So how do we create a headline and opening copy that gets people to understand or to raise their hand and say, yes, ako to. Okay? So there are 4 things that you'll want to include. I'll give you an example of this later. Number 1 is their desire. What do they want? Diba? And if you can show that your ad is somehow related to something that they want, then they will read it. The next is their identity. How can you call out the specific target audience in your headline or in your opening copy for them to know na, hey, this thing is for me? So desire, identity. Number 3 is promise. What is it that your offer is promising? Ano yung kaya mong ma-deliver that is something that they want and desire? And number 4, objection. No, objection meaning, especially for the solution-aware market, diba? What are the objections that they have that's stopping them from getting what they want? I'll give you a specific example of this on how we can turn something so general into something more specific. Right? And we can do this together para fun. So you can let me know. Let's say I'm offering some sort of business opportunity package. Let's say, di ba, parang MLM or parang kabuhayan package or sari-sari store package. So, ang headline ko is Business Opportunity Package. Now, how can we make it more appealing and interesting and would get people to raise their hands? Let's start off with desire. How can we put in desire and change this business opportunity package and turn it into something or a headline that talks about what people want? I can say something like start your own business. It's the same. It's the same offer. Business opportunity package versus how to start your own business. Now, same question as earlier. In that change, in that shift, does that increase or decrease your level of desirability for the offer? Can you let me know in the chat, increase or decrease? From business opportunity package to how to start your own business. It increased a bit. No? Still pretty general, pero may increase. Okay, now here's where I need your help. How can we enhance this particular headline to include an identity? Can you type in the chat parang how you would do that, including an identity of a target audience? Before I show you my example, I want to see, para ma-practice natin, I want to see how you would approach this. How can you add in an identity to make this more specific and more desirable to my target audience? You can use any target audience. Like a housewife. Yan, sabi ni Jovi, housewife. Diba? So how can, if my target audience is a housewife, Jovi, how can you add in that identity to the headline? How young graduates can start their first business. Thank you, Adrian. Diba? Or OFW. Diba? Adding in these interests. So how would you add that in? Similar to what Adrian shared, this is how I would do it. How stay-at-home moms can start their own business. Again, it's the same offer. Dinagdagan ko lang ng identity of my target audience. Now, if you are a stay-at-home mom and you want to start your own business, how does this compare to business opportunity package? Does that increase your level of desirability for whatever the ad is or decrease? Yeah, it increases. Now let's take it a step further. Let's talk about a promise. How can we add in a promise of our specific offer to make it more enticing? Actually, may nag-answer na eh. Parang sabi ni Loretta, if you scroll up a bit sa chat, Loretta said, how to start your own business in less than a week. Diba? Compare mo yung how to start your own business to how to start your own business in less than a week. Diba? That increases the level of desirability just by adding in a promise. Inilagay ko dito, how stay-at-home moms can start their own business in 90 days. And then finally, ang sabi ko kanina, objection. How can we add in an objection? So you can let me know, actually I saw it in the chat already, can you let me know what is an objection of people in terms of starting your own business? Parang okay sana mag-start ng business kaso blank. Ano yung blank? What's stopping a lot of people? Time, know-how, capital, fear, diba? Yeah, sa madami. Pero like Jason has already said, how to start your own business without risking too much capital. So yun yung nilagay ko. How stay-at-home moms can start their own business in 90 days without capital. Diba? Again, it's the same offer, but just adding in an identity, adding in the desire, adding in the specific promise, and adding in their objection. How much does that increase the level of desirability for people who see that ad and says, uy, para sa akin to? Then, of course, diba, if someone is not in your target audience, by seeing this type of headline, makikita talaga na, ay, hindi para sa akin to. So that repels talaga your people who are not meant to be your customers. But it allows you to attract your target audience talaga and what they want and how you can help them. Diba? Is this helping you so far? Okay lang ako no. I mean, that feedback would help. Pero can you let me know if this if what I've been sharing is helping you? Yes. Nice. Thank you. Okay. Yan. So again, make sure to check out the recording kasi definitely you'll pick up a lot more than what you're getting now. Okay, so let's continue. So we talked about intention, we talked about the attention grabber, we talked about the hand raiser. So at this point, if you're able to do it really well, diba, now, diba, people, you have their attention. They've decided this is for me, this ad is speaking to me, let's see what this ad has to say to me. This is now your opportunity to convert your target audience. And when we say convert, diba, what do we mean? Sometimes kasi, especially online, conversion sales kagad eh. Yung iniisip. But there are a lot more ways to convert. It is considered a conversion kasi you're converting someone from a non-buyer to a buyer. But in this particular aspect, when we talk about the converter, we're talking about the bulk of your copy. Kasi yung laman talaga. And I'll give you the templates for these ones. But when we talk about conversion, we're converting one person from one stage of awareness to the next. If they're unaware, we're converting them from someone who's unaware to aware, or to problem aware. If they're problem aware, we're converting them to problem aware to solution aware. And if they're solution aware already, we're converting them from solution aware to someone who is aware that I can help them, or that you can help them. Or yeah, a believer of your product or service. So it should ideally change the way people think so that they will naturally change their behavior. Yeah, we'll send the recording via email tomorrow morning. So it should ideally change the way people think so that they will naturally change their behavior. Hindi siya yung tipong just yung diretsong call to action na click here. We'll want to introduce a new belief, a new way of thinking so that naturally, once they believe this new way of thinking, they will click. So again, it's a matter of educated guess and testing. And here, ibang metric yung tinitingnan ko. Click-through rate pa rin. And again, you'll see this sa Ads Manager. But link, kanina all to. Click-through rate all kasi it counts all clicks on the ad. Click-through rate link is a measure that counts only the link clicks or the button clicks. And I want it to be at least 1%. So let's talk about conversion. Again, conversion, what we're talking about here is unaware to problem aware to solution aware, or solution aware to your solution aware. Okay? And this is the part that's going to be fun to experiment with. So do let me know like what you're offering, and then we can see how we can use this for your, how we can use these templates for your business. My recommendation as you go through this and as you watch the recording tomorrow, also practice it yourself and do it messy. It won't always be perfect. But what you'll notice, and as you'll notice me do then today, what you'll notice is as long as you put it out there, you speak it or you write it down, kahit magulo yan, kahit messy yan, it starts to have form. So don't be afraid, kasi sometimes diba iniisip natin yung kailangan perfect na siya dito bago natin mailabas. Pero for me, I write it first, no matter how messy it looks like, and then naayos ko siya from there. That's my recommendation for you. Okay? So let's talk about the unaware to problem aware. And this one, among all the frameworks, this one is the one that took me a while to really get and practice. Hanggang ngayon, I still struggle with it. But I'm able to come out with good copy naman from it. Again, just making it messy. So don't be afraid kung medyo mahirap siya magets. Took me a while then. But basically, this is what it looks like. I call it the ABCD. A is an undeniable truth about what your target audience wants. Okay? I'll give you an example. So one of the courses that we have, School of Awesomeness, is the 21-day money mindset reboot. So it's all about your mindset about money, changing your mindset about money or your beliefs about money. So most of the people that join the School of Awesomeness program, yung All Access Pass namin, they are entrepreneurs who want to grow their business. So an undeniable truth about what my target audience wants is they want to grow their business. So I can say something like, when we talk about growing your business, we talk about, making more money. True or false, can you let me know in the chat? When we talk about growing your business, we talk about making more money. Yes or no? True, diba? So in a way, undeniable naman siya. So parang, yes, of course. Then the next statement, yung letter B, is an undeniable truth about your target audience or everyone. And what I mentioned here when I market it is saying something like, everyone has beliefs relating to money. True or false? We have beliefs relating to money, whether those are limiting beliefs or empowering beliefs. So in the ABCD, we basically just lay out these two quote-unquote truths. So if A is true and B is true, the last statement is we say something like, then how do you expect to get C without D? C is what they want, D is what they are not doing. Okay? So what does that look like? Ito yung sinasabi ko just now. Number one, everyone has limiting beliefs about money. When we talk about growing our business, we're referring to making more money. So how do you expect to grow your business if you are not improving your relationship with money? Makes sense ba? So that's why as part of the School of Awesomeness All Access Pass, when people want to learn marketing to grow their business, we also teach them how to reframe their beliefs about money so that they can make more money. If you're interested in availing of the 21-day money mindset reboot, click here to enroll now. Make sense? Can you let me know with a yes if it is? Yeah. Here's another example that I did for a client recently. So the fastest way to become MDRT is by closing high net worth clients. This is for insurance. Also, rich people became rich because they are smart. So how do you expect to become MDRT if you're not making yourself smarter than your high net worth clients? That's why in blah, 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 we help financial advisors get more credibility by teaching them how to manage the wealth of their clients in our 3-week program. Ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Click here to enroll now. So if A is true and B is true, then how do you expect to get C without B? So you're basically showing them that there is a concern that they might not have been thinking of. Nice now. Following, can you type following if you kind of understood that or you understood that this particular framework. So it's not a word for word framework as compared to the ones I'll show you next, but this can be powerful, especially if you're showing people how to show people that there is a problem. Diba, you want to understand ano ba yung gusto nila, ano ba gusto nila ma-achieve, and then introducing a new problem. Okay, cool. Following. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Great. Let's talk about the next one. Let's talk about if your target audience is at a problem-aware stage, how do we get them to a solution-aware stage? And again, if you remember from my slide earlier, at this stage, what we want to be able to tell people is that we understand them. Because problem-aware people, they tend to be, again, they're not focused on the solution. The focus is on the problem. So the focus on the problem, may problema ako, and things like that. Have you ever had that experience na, parang may problema ka, you're so down, tapos parang someone comes along na trying to be helpful, na hindi, madali lang yan, gawin mo lang to, ganyan, ganyan. Na hindi nagko-connect kasi you're so much into your problem. And what we want, if our target audience is here, what we want is to be able to make that connection first. Now, we want to make that connection so that they know that we are someone that can help. Because if we are, I found this from Brené, I listened to this from Brené Brown a few years ago or something. But she was talking about the difference between sympathy and empathy. Parang, let's say someone is down on a hole, nasa hole siya. Sympathy daw is you're on top of the parang diba may holes, you're on top. You're looking down the hole, you're seeing the person and says, ay naku, you're down there. Sige, madali lang yan. Here's a ladder, akyat ka, and then you can come up here where it's nice and breezy. Ang ganda-ganda dito, ang pangit dyan, akyat ka na dito. Yun daw yung sympathy. And then what she said was, empathy on the other hand is you going down into that hole, staying beside that person and realizing na, oh, you're in this hole, it sucks, it's cold, it's not comfortable, but there is a way out. There is stairs here, may ladder dito, and we can take it together so that we can go up, so that you don't have to experience this anymore. And parang sinasabi niya that I remember very clearly is that sympathy can drive disconnection, whereas empathy can drive connection. And that's what we want. When our target audience is in a problem-aware state and they're not really sure that there's a solution, what we want to be able to do first is to make that connection so that they can start to see that, we get them, and then we can start to show them a solution, and then they'd be open to a solution. So what does that look like? Wait lang, before I share this, okay. I wanted to check lang that I had the slides I wanted to share. Sorry. Okay. So I have a template for this. It doesn't have to be word for word, but this has been the general template that I've used before. Do you or are you before? Are you having difficulties making your Facebook ads convert? Again, it doesn't have to be specific, but I personally like adding in like your name and things like that. Diba? Hi, my name is Name, and I help audience with problems so that they goal. So hi, my name is Julian. I help online course creators run profitable Facebook ad campaigns so that they're able to attract their ideal clients. And you can try this yourself. You can type it in, just basically filling in the blanks. We do this through our offer. We do this through our Facebook Ads Management service. Just imagine how it would be to after. Just imagine how it would be to get low-cost leads that convert to become your clients after they attend your webinar. If you're interested, call to action. If you're interested in making that happen, I'd love to invite you to a discovery call so that we can learn more about how we can help you. Here's a sample ad that I did. So do you before? Are you before? Have your Facebook ads stopped producing the quality or low-cost ads they once did? The survey kasi for online course creators, and a lot of them said na, dati ang dali-dali mag-Facebook ads, ngayon ang mahal. So yun yung problem nila. So I said, hi, my name is Julian, and I help course creators improve their Facebook ad campaigns. So audience, problem, so that they can reach their aligned audience or aligned clients with ease. We do this through our offer. During this time in particular, we do this through our training that teaches advertisers the top 3 outdated Facebook ad tips that will no longer work in 2022. Just imagine how it would be to after. Just imagine how it would be to adjust your strategy to what's working now and get back to the low cost and high converting ads you once did. Leads para dapat yan. Tama. Low cost, high converting ads you wanted. Click below to sign up for this training. Right? And why I really like this particular framework is because when I started back in 2015, almost 8 years ago, 7 years ago, maraming bago sa akin. I didn't like selling, I didn't like writing, and I was not into parang skincare. But one of my first clients was a medical spa in the US. So parang sabi ko, paano ko gagawa ng ad to? Me offering their service, me not knowing much about it. So what I did was I went to Yelp, which is a review website. Tinignan ko yung Yelp nila, and then I looked at what people were saying about their service. And in fact, I even have this. I still use this until now kasi this really drives home the point for this particular framework. So basically, in-answer ko lang itong mga problems na to, or mga questions na to. What was the problem? Sagginess, sun damage, fine lines, large pigments, large pores, dark spots. As in, literal, kinopy ko lang siya from what I saw sa Yelp. Then what will solving this problem ultimately mean? People said that, they can wake up and face the world with their clear skin. Hindi ko masusulat yan. Talagang literal, kinopy ko lang yan from a customer. Who is experiencing this problem? Women who's constantly under the sun and under stress. Yung mga sinasabi nila. Always being under the sun, ang hirap-hirap. Yeah. And then I looked at the before and after. Kasi mahilig magkwento yung mga tao, di ba? Especially if they're a happy customer. So some of the before na nasabi, looking tired and older than their age, having to do a lot of covering up with makeup. So yun yung mga na-share. Ano yung lumabas na after? No need for all the makeup. You can just put on minimal foundation and face the world confidently. So ginather ko yan. And then it was time for me to put together the ad, and I used the framework I just shared with you earlier. And this is what it looked like. Are you looking tired and older than your age? Are you having to do a lot of covering up with makeup? Hi, we are XYZ Medical Spa, and we help women who's constantly under the sun and under stress with their sagginess, sun damage, shine lines, large pigments, large pores, and dark spots. We do this with our face and neck treatment so that you can wake up and face the world with your clear skin. Imagine having no need for all the makeup. Just put on minimal foundation and face the world confidently. If you're interested in how we can make this happen for you, simply click below and schedule your free consultation with us. Publish. And to my surprise, to my pleasant surprise, that started to get like yung leads and things like that. And notice that I didn't even write anything new. All of these I got from happy customers already. And I was basically using what they shared were their pain points. That's why it's very important for you to get that feedback and to get that understanding of your target audience and understand what pains they're going through. Because the more you can feed that back in your copy, the more you can make that connection with your target audience. Here's another story that I like sharing. Every time I teach copy, like kung ginagamit tong example na to. So imagine one morning waking up with terrible back pain. As in dito sa lower back. Yung when you try to move left, ang sakit. When you try to move right, ang sakit. And when you sit up, the pain moves from your back to your neck like a bolt of lightning. Sobrang bilis, sobrang sakit. Yung mapasigaw ka ng, ang sakit. And you went on with your day. You had lunch with your friends. Sabi nung unang friend mo, back pain. So ano lang yan, warm compress lang yan, gagaling na yan. Tapos sabihin ng pangalawang friend mo, anong warm compress? Dapat cold compress. Kasi dapat yung muscles, whatever. Tapos yung pangatlong friend mo, kain lang siya. Sabi niya, huwag ka makinig dyan. Kailangan lang dyan masahe. So okay na yan. And all of these advice that don't necessarily help. And then, here comes a waiter, someone who you've never met before, someone who basically has no authority over you, suddenly comes and approaches you and tells you, ma'am, sir, sorry, I couldn't help but over here. Yung back pain mo ba, yung dito sa lower back? Yung when you try to move left, ang sakit. When you try to move right, ang sakit. And when you sit up, the pain moves from your back to your neck like a bolt of lightning. Yung sobrang bilis, sobrang sakit. Yung mapasigaw ka ng, ang sakit. Yun ba? Ganong klaseng pain ba? And this person was able to clearly describe the pain that you were going through. Question ko sa inyo, would you listen to this person? Yes or no? Huh? Hindi mo kalala, pero this person was able to clearly describe the pain that you were going through. Yes, if you're like most people, you'd listen. Sabihin niya sa'yo na, asus madali lang yan. Aren't you inclined to say, paano? Diba? So, wala man lang product na na-introduce, walang offer na na-introduce, but this person was able to make that connection at nagets ka niya because he probably went through the same thing. Then you're likely open to listening. And that's what we want for your target audience. We want them that even if you're a stranger online, and even if parang konti pa lang yung nakalike sa page mo, but you're able to make that connection by having that deep understanding of what problems they're going through, then you can make that connection, get them to inquire, get them to click. So that's the whole idea of this particular framework. It's not so much in the selling of it. Kaya ako sinasabi, it's not the best and most effective use. Because once you're able to make that connection, the selling becomes easier. So we want to make that connection first, especially when people are so much in their problems. Are you following? Are you following so far? Ayos ba? Learning? And I think this was very valuable siya, just really in having your ads pinpoint na alam mo yung problems. Parang recently, couple of months ago, we were a bit concerned kasi like my daughter had fever. Tapos, syempre, as a parent, you get concerned. And if someone told me, if we consulted with someone and someone told me, okay lang yan, mawawala din yan, parang I wouldn't be comfortable. May fever siya and may spots pala. May spot siya. How can you tell me na nawala lang yan? until we met with a pedya. And ang pedya, ang ginawa niya was to list down symptoms. And all she did was that, yung spots ba hanggang lower back? Yes po. Maabot ba sa may legs? Konti lang po. Tapos bigla niya tinanong, nagka-fever ba siya 2 to 3 days ago? Oo nga, no, nagka-fever siya. Yes po. Okay. So parang, then she looked as if alam na niya kung ano yan. Okay. Tigdas hangin lang yan. That's gonna go away in a few days. It was the same response, but because she listed down the symptoms and I said, okay, yes, yan, yes po, may spot siya, ganyan, ganyan. We made that connection. I knew that she knew what she was talking about. And that's why it's important for you to know what are the pains and struggles your target audience are going through. Because once you're able to list it down to them, then they know that you know what they're talking about. And they know that what you have is something that can help them. Nice ba? Following. Can you type in a following in the chat if we're following? We still have more to go. So again, it's being recorded, so you can go back to all these goodness over the weekend. Great. Sige. At this point, I've been sharing like mga sample copy, and during this time, people tend to ask. So you, none of you have asked sa chat, pero usually this is the time when people ask, Julian, parang haba ng mga ads, no? Is long copy effective? And I get this question a lot. And here's the thing, diba? So people approach me want their ads to be converting, want their ads to attract their ideal target audiences and convert them to sales later on. And of course, they approach me kasi that's not what's happening to their ads. They would run ads, tapos konti lang yung pumapansin, konti lang yung clicks, and much less yung mga bumibili after they have that. Usually pa nga, ang sinasabi is maraming nagtatanong ng how much, maraming nag-inquire, but they don't end up buying. And when I would do audits, I would look at, sabihin ko, can you show me your numbers? Can you show me your ads? One thing I would notice is that yung ads that are very straightforward, very short, parang, here's my offer, click below to inquire. So yun lang. Then very straightforward, very short words and all. And then when I would ask, bakit ito lang yung ad nyo? Why don't you, hindi pa kayo magkwento, you don't try to relate to your target audience? Ang usual sinasabi sa akin is that, kasi social media to eh. Diba? And people's attention spans are short on social media. So if we have a long ad, people won't read it. And parang for me, having done this for some time, I would say na, I get it. No, hindi naman mali yung thinking na kailangan maikli, kailangan straight to the point kasi we only have 1 second to get our target audience's attention and get them to convert. Otherwise, wala na sila. So gets ko siya. But I think I kind of look at it differently. Kasi for me, the same person who's not willing to spend 2 minutes to read your ad, that person will go on to watch a 16-hour Korean novela on Netflix. The same person who is not willing to watch your 5-minute video on Facebook, that same person will go on to attend a 2 or 3 hour training on how to improve Facebook ads. Right? So it's not that people's attention spans are short. It's more that people will choose to pay attention to what is relevant for them. But it's not about the length. It's not about the length of your copy. It's not about the length of your ad. It's about how relevant it is. And when you start to realize that it is about relevance, then we can start to focus on making our ads relevant, making our copy relevant, whether it takes you a lot of words or whether it takes you parang konting words lang. And when you focus on relevance, that is when you will start to have your converting ads. Did that make sense? Can you let me know? In hearing what I just shared, are you more inclined to write longer ads? Can you let me know in the chat? Are you more open to writing longer ads? Not really, yes. Yeah. For a lot of people, yes. And why do I share this? Why do I share this now? I share it now because number one, I don't want you to limit the way you write your ads. So just say, mahaba, hindi ko gana to. So that's one. And the second reason The second reason is that that is the third framework that I'll be sharing with you. And I actually use that. So this is the third framework that I will share with you, and this is my personal favorite. Diba? This is my favorite one, and it works really well for people who are in the solution aware phase. Now, if there's a lot of offers out there na competition nyo, you'll want to be able to change the way people think, so that they will take action. Right? And this is what I refer to as the belief action results framework. I'll share with you how I showed it in the example earlier. I started off with results. I said people come to me. People come to me because they want converting ads. So this is a desired result. So we talk about the results that they have right now. Talk about the current results, which is non-converting ads. Yeah, framework reminds you of Simon Sinek, similar by yung the why circle. So belief action results, parang why, how, what. It's similar. So we talk about the results that people have, which is non-converting ads. Then we talk about why people have non-converting ads, at least based on my yung sinabi ko kanina. And I said, the action leading to the result, I said, people have short ads, straight to the point ads, and that's why they have non-converting ads. And where I took it a step further was to talk about the belief behind the action. Why are people writing shorter ads? People are writing shorter ads because a lot of people believe that people's attention spans are short. People said, and notice, ito yung framework na belief action result. You have a belief, people's attention spans are short, and because of that belief, nagkakaroon ng corresponding action. No? You believe that people's attention spans are short, therefore, people write short ads. And because you have a certain action, you get a certain result. Diba? Because you write short ads, at least sinasabi ko, you get non-converting ads. And where it becomes powerful is when you're able to shift the belief by having counterexamples. Diba? Ang sabi ko, someone who doesn't want to read your 2-minute ad will go on to watch a K-drama marathon. And once you're able to show a counterexample to show that this is not true, you can start to introduce a new belief. Ang sabi ko, people pay attention to relevant information. And once you start to put your focus into this particular belief, what are you inclined to do as an action? If you believe that people pay attention to relevant information, then you focus on relevance, whether it's short, whether it's long. And when you focus on relevance and not on the length of the copy, that is when you start to have converting ads. Right? So what are the different elements here? No, and a good way for you to gauge whether this is effective or not is if you are getting people to disagree with you. So in my ad for this particular in this particular training, so there were people who felt like, no, that's wrong, things like that. So for me, that's a gauge. And for you, you will have people disagreeing with you because you're sharing a different point of view. And that's okay. It's okay to have a different point of view. And what we're here is to attract the people who basically want to share your point of view. So what are the different elements here so that you can do something like this yourself? Right? No animations yet. Okay. So we want to understand the desired results of your target audience. So we can do this together. Let's say I'm a fitness coach or I have weight loss supplements para product. Let's say I have weight loss supplements and ang desired result ng target audience ko is they want to get thinner. And we want to look at their current result. So let's say ako, current result ko is I'm overweight. So it's a current result. And our current result is due to mistakes that we've been doing. So what could be, so let's do this together. What could be a mistake that I am making? So I'm my customer. What mistake can I be making? That's why I'm overweight. Can you let me know in the chat? What mistake could I be making? That's why I am overweight. So I have poor diet, no exercise. Thank you. How about the others? Binge eating. No exercise. So for me, and you'll notice ang dami ng lumalabas na potential mistake for the same result, which means that this framework can go in so many different ways. You can use the same framework and then just change the mistake, it becomes a different context. Just change the limiting belief, it becomes a different context. So hopefully you're seeing that. But in my example here, let's say my mistake is I only exercise. So I do exercise. I only exercise. I don't change my diet. I don't change the way I eat or things like that. So that's my mistake. Now, again, turning it over to you. Question: if my mistake is that I only exercise and I don't change like the way I eat or what I put in my body, what limiting belief could I have that's causing that mistake? Kasi kung alam ko naman na mistake siya, hindi mo siya gagawin. Diba? But because it is sponsored by a limiting belief, a belief that I hold that's not supporting me, ang nagiging action niya is exercise lang ginagawa ko and I don't change my diet. So what belief could I have if you were to guess? What do I believe? Exercise alone is key to losing weight. Thanks, Regina. For me, it's exactly that. Diba? Exercise alone is okay. So that is a limiting belief. That's a commonly held belief by a lot of people. Diba? But that's what's keeping us from getting the results, which is why exercise can exercise, but you're still overweight. And then we discredit the belief by showing an example, by saying something like, if that were true, diba? If that were true, then how come there are people who barely does any exercise, but they are still very fit and they have the proper body weight? So just give an example na hindi siya totoo, and then you can introduce a new belief. Because the truth is, apart from exercise, the nutrition that your body takes in plays a key role in your weight loss. So that's the new belief. And when we introduce a new belief, what we want is to introduce a new inspired action coming from that belief. And when you start to realize that the nutrition your body takes in plays a big part in your weight loss, you start to be open not just to exercising, but also to being mindful about the vitamins that you take in. And then you tie it back to the desired result by saying, and that's when you start to actually see weight loss. That's when you actually start to see weight loss. So if I will put that into an ad, I'd say something like, a lot of people try and do a lot of exercise wanting to get thinner, but a lot of them are still left being overweight because for most of men above the age of 30, they believe or they only exercise and they don't mind their nutrition because they believe that exercise alone is enough. But if that were true, then how come there are people who barely do any exercise but are still in the proper body weight? Because the truth is, nutrition plays a big part, or the vitamins that you take in plays a big part in maintaining a healthy weight. And when you start to realize this, most people become mindful of the vitamins or the food that they take, and that is when weight loss starts to happen. Then I have a call to action by saying something like, if you want to learn more about how to get the proper nutrition or proper vitamins that support with weight loss, we do have a range of different supplemental products that can help you. We'd love to chat with you and see what would be best for you. Click below to inquire now. So yun yung basic framework niya. Can you let me know in the chat if this is making sense? Kahit theoretically. You type in theoretically if you feel that it's making sense. Nice. So let's change that theoretically into practical. Let's do an actual demo. Again, we're here to make it messy. It won't always be perfect, but the messier we can make it, the closer it is to being able to become a reality. So may I ask for a volunteer in the room? You just type in I volunteer if you want to volunteer, and I'll just basically ask you a couple of questions, and let's try to create a draft for you, a copy draft. Sige, excuse me. Sige, sige, Loreto, ay mali, resume yan. Loreto, are you able to unmute yourself? Wait, I think I have to, ay, hanapin muna kita. Loreto. Ayan, allowed to talk. Ayan, can you let me know if, ayan, you should be able to unmute yourself now. Can you try? Ayan. Hello.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Yan. Thanks for volunteering, Loreto. Can I know about your offer? Parang what do you do?
I do, sir. I am the operations manager of a repair and maintenance business.
Okay. So repair and maintenance. And sino yung ideal target audience mo?
Actually, sir, as of this time, kasi medyo malawak din po kasi yung yung services na ginagawa po namin. But we are inclined in repair and maintenance of commercial kitchen equipments and commercial laundry machines po.
Okay. When you say commercial kitchen equipments, parang tao ba understanding ko na parang restaurant owners is
Yes.
part of your target? Okay. So can we use that? Let's use restaurant owners. And you are into maintenance and repair. So what do they want? Parang if may nag-approach sa restaurant owner, ano yung likely problema nila? Ano yung gusto nila mangyari?
Actually, sir, yun naman po ang bread and butter ng isang restaurant. Kung wala kang lutuan, wala kang food storing equipment, walang restaurant.
So they want gusto nila maayos yung equipment nila,
yes.
ba?
Apo.
Fully functioning equipment. So when they approach you, ano yung problema nila sa equipment nila? Sira or hindi gumagana?
Ayun na po ang kadalasan po na parang andun na kagad na sira na siya.
Sira.
May mga process po kasi na dapat dumadaan yan before magiging worst yung problema ng pagkasira ng equipment.
Okay. So dahil sila yung equipment, nag-stop yung operations nila. Yung I think
Yes
you mentioned
po.
earlier. Diba? Okay. Sige. So sila yung equipment, may breakdown. Then you were talking about na parang sana naagapan siya, diba? So what is one mistake that a lot of restaurant owners are making kaya umaabot sa ganun?
For us kasi, sir, may mga na kami, may mga parang blueprint na po dapat na sinusunod nila bago maging worse yung problema. Isa po doon is yung tinatawag po naming preventive maintenance.
Okay.
Scheduled preventive maintenance.
Nice. So not doing scheduled preventive maintenance. Okay. Maintenance na.
Main tapos tenants.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So, like I mentioned, we'll do it messy, so thank you. Okay, so yun yung mistake nila. They're not doing scheduled preventive maintenance. And
Yes.
what do you think is a belief that they have? Kaya sila hindi nag-schedule ng preventive maintenance?
Cost.
Mahal.
Parang hindi naman po mahal. Pero
Okay.
one of the things sa kanila is ang alam nila siguro yung preventive maintenance ay mahal pero hindi naman po mahal.
Pero yun yung, for some people, yun yung belief nila.
Iyon
Na
ang
parang
belief nila. Yung
mahal
iba,
or
yung
at
iba.
least gastos siya. Let's just put
po, gastos. Yun po.
Gastos pa
Cost.
yung PM, preventive maintenance. Okay. So, what is it that you want them to believe? If you have the opportunity to educate a lot of restaurant owners na naniniwala na magastos yung preventive maintenance, ano yung gusto mong bagong belief nila or gusto mong ma-introduce sa kanila? Na parang opposite yan.
Apo, yung preventive maintenance po ay hindi naman ganun kamahal. Ayun ang parang po, i-convince na hindi naman po mahal yan.
Yeah. Kasi ano yung mas mahal? Ano mas mahal sa preventive maintenance?
Comparing to corrective maintenance po yung actual na nasira na siya at i-repair na siya kaysa yung preventive maintenance, yun po ang mas mahal.
Yeah. Diba? yun yung mahal. Pag nasira na, yun yung mas mahal kasi mas mahal na yung babayaran mo sa gagawa.
Babayaran, opo,
Wala
plus
ka
yung
pang
pyesa.
wala ka pang operations. So wala ka pang kita.
Opo, syempre.
Diba? So what we want them to understand is that preventive maintenance is not that expensive naman pala. And when people realize na, hindi naman ganun kamahal yung preventive maintenance, what are they more open to doing?
Again, sir?
Ano yung parang, pag maniwala sila na, okay, hindi man pala mahal preventive maintenance,
Yes.
parang they could be open to doing what?
Na mag-avail na sila or mag-schedule na sila sa preventive maintenance. Gumawa na sila ng parang scheduling or planned na preventive maintenance.
And when they start to schedule, diba, nag-inquire sila with you, nag-schedule sila, does that help them have fully functioning equipment that brings in yung bread and butter nila?
Yes, kasi wala na pong interruption dun sa sudden breakdown ng equipment nila.
Okay, great. Thanks, Loretta, for providing that information. I will attempt to create an ad for you based on what you've shared with me. Just let me know kung okay siya or hindi. So I'll probably do something like that says something like, as a restaurant owner, a lot of our operations that deal with, serving our customers rely on having fully functioning equipment. But unfortunately, for a lot of restaurant owners who operate day in and day out, sometimes they find themselves na sira yung equipment nila and they have to stop operations to be able to repair it. Diba? And one thing that we found that a lot of restaurant owners do by mistake is they're not doing any sort of preventive maintenance or scheduled preventive maintenance because most of them believe na dagdag gastos lang yung preventive maintenance. But you know what is more expensive? Corrective maintenance. And it's more expensive kasi mas mahirap yung gagawin. At the same time, nag-stop pa yung operations mo so wala kang kita. Because the truth is, preventive maintenance is not that expensive. Huh? You can save a lot simply by making sure that everything is running correctly. And when people start to realize this, that is when they're more open to availing of preventive maintenance or scheduling or just even inquiring with our local service provider. And when they're able to add this to their process, having scheduled preventive maintenance, that is actually what helps them to have fully functioning equipment and allows them to maximize their operations and their profits. Hi, we are XYZ maintenance services, and we help restaurant owners make sure that their equipment are working well by helping you do scheduled preventive maintenance. Simply click below and inquire with us today. If I were to put that out as an ad, do you think that you would get inquiries from that?
Sigurado yan, sir.
Yeah. So you know what's interesting here? Ikaw yung nag-provide ng information. I didn't put in anything.
Yes.
Yes. I just helped you put it together. So can you let me know for the rest? Can you let me know in the chat if you felt that was helpful? Thank you, Loretta, for
Yes, sir.
being our volunteer, and I hope this was valuable for you. Yeah, actually, pwede mong gamitin yan for your and let us know.
Thank you po.
Thanks, Loretta. How about in the chat, guys? Can you let me know what your thoughts are with that? And what I want you to pay attention to is that the information did not come from me. It was provided for by Loretta. I just asked him these questions. So you can create these as well with information that you likely already know about your target audience. Right? So let me share with you what that looks like. If you want a word for word na magamit, but you don't have to do it word for word. You can just use this framework, results, action, beliefs. But if you want a word for word script, you can do it something like this. Most target market want desired results, but a lot have unwanted current results. Again, it's recorded, but if you want, you can take a screenshot of this. Because they mistake. And from what I found is that they choose to do this because identify the limiting belief. But if that were true, then how come, then give the counterexample. Because the truth is, then the new empowering belief, and when people start to realize that they inspired action, And that's what helps them get desired result. And then a call to action. So here's an ad that I did for another offer that I have using this particular framework. Sabi ko, most course creators, so much now, target market. Most target market want desired results. Most course creators run Facebook ads with the hopes of reaching more people and getting more clients and students. But a lot have unwanted current results. But for a lot, especially this past year, what they've been getting are high-costing webinar signups who don't even show up because they mistake. One reason I found this to be the case is because a lot of people are still doing the same old strategies that they used to do in the past. And what I found is that they choose to do this because limiting belief. Sabi ko dito. And what I found is that they choose to do this because they believe that what worked before should still work now. And then I said, but if that were true, then how come? Then counterexample. Sabi ko dito. But if you think about it, Facebook is all about people and people change. Because people change, social media platforms like Facebook change as well. And the truth is, if we as advertisers are not willing to change as well, then we'll really get left behind. So the truth is, new empowering belief, and when people start to realize that, they inspired action. And when people start to realize that, they start to look for what can work differently about how they do their ads. And that's what helps them get desired results. And that's what helps them get their ads to convert and get more of their aligned students. Learn more about the 3 outdated Facebook ad tips that will no longer work for course creators this 2022 by clicking below and signing up for our free training. Right, so this is where we want to change the way people think. If you go to YouTube or go to social media, ang dami dyang how-to content, how to get more sales, how to attract your ideal target audience, how to manifest the business of your dreams. Puro how-to. But why is it that a lot of them parang are just there and nothing really changes? Because most how-to content out there are just simply that, how-to content. But where you can start to stand out and where you can start to make a connection is when you go a step deeper and talk about the beliefs people have about the action. So it doesn't have to be a really deep-seated belief. It simply has to be a certain belief that people have. Like things like effectivity, or things like mahal, gastos lang yung preventive maintenance. And you offer a new belief. We're not saying na mali sila. For thinking that, what we're just showing is, yes, you can think that, but you can also think na it's not as expensive as corrective maintenance. And when you start to offer a different belief, hindi mo sila inaaway, you're just offering a different way of thinking about things, then people start to be more open, and that's where you actually get more people to click, inquire, and eventually buy. All right, following? Can you let me know in the chat? I'm still following. Did you find this to be very helpful? Nice. Thank you. I'm glad that you're finding it helpful. As an Upwork freelancer, I'm sure I can use this lesson for get more projects. Yes, actually, you can use this for a lot. This particular framework, you can use it for a lot of different ways. Then it doesn't even have to be ads. It can be posts lang sa profile nyo. It can be mga kung nag-send ka ng mga cover letters, it can be that. Personally, I use it for coaching as well, for my coaching students, to support them, or looking at their beliefs about certain things and then changing the way they think so that they can change their actions and lead to a different result. Okay, nice. Now we're in our last part of the optimized ad, which is the ask. And this is basically where nagawa mo na lahat. You got their attention, you got them to say, yes, para sa akin to. You got them to change the way they think, whether it is from problem aware to from unaware to problem aware to solution aware. And now, if you've done the process correctly, ito na yung sinasabi ng person na, yes, how can I learn more? How can I continue to work with you? What's next? And sayang naman yung all that energy, all that attention, all that work that is put into it if you're not telling people what to do next. And the ask is basically your call to action. And sometimes it can feel weird to give parang common sense naman, di ba? Inquire to find out what's next. But sometimes it really helps to be very, very specific and to be very direct. If you want to learn more about how we can help you, if you want to schedule your preventive maintenance today, if you want to sign up for this webinar and learn how to create the optimized ad, click here. Click the button below. Message us today. Call this number. Be very direct. And my recommendation is if you will have a call to action, have one call to action. Sometimes I still see people giving multiple call to actions. If you want to learn about how we can help you, message us in our Facebook page or look for us in Instagram or email us at juliancanita@awesomeemail.com. Don't forget to like our page. Having multiple call to actions, of course, you can try it out. But if you have one direct call to action and just telling people what to do, it tends to be more effective, at least in my experience. Telling people what to do next. Click here to order this today. Rather than saying, order this product now, be more direct. Ano yung gagawin nila now? Click here to visit our website and order this product today. They say a confused mind doesn't buy. So the less options you have, the better. Of course, sometimes naman kailangan may options. Diba? For example, if you have installment options, things like that. But the more straightforward you can be, the better. Again, always best to test. Pero yun for call to action. So with that, we have the optimized ad. We will start with your intention. Who do you want to reach? What problem do you want to solve? And what message do you want to tell them? When you're clear with that, then we can start to look at, okay, kilala ko yung target audience ko, alam ko yung problem niya, what creative can I put to get their attention? Once you have their attention, what headline can I put? What opening copy can I put to get them to say na, uy, para sa akin to, let me read on some more. Once you have their attention, you now want to look at how can I change the way they think? How can I show them that there's a problem? How can I show them that I understand them going through this problem? And how can I share with them a different way of thinking about the different solutions they have about getting their what they want? Once you're able to make that conversion, now all that's left to do is to get them to tell them what to do next. Click here, click below, message us. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my version of the optimized ad. So can I know in the chat? Okay pa ba kayo? Kasi hindi pa tayo tapos. Can I know, just as a quick check, okay pa ba kayo? I still have something that will, if you have questions, please feel free to put in the Q&A so we can get to them later. But for now, okay pa ba kayo? I will have something I will want to share with you. Yes, okay. So may I know, again, hindi pa tayo tapos, but I want to know lang, so far, it's been almost 2 hours, what has been your biggest takeaway? What has been your biggest takeaway so far? Again, if you have questions, we have a Q&A box, which you can put your questions there para hindi lang siya matabunan sa chat, so we can get to it later. But can I know in the chat, if you can share lang with me, again, this is feedback for me, what has been your biggest takeaway so far? Kung may isa lang kayong mababaon at gagawin nyo in the next 24 hours, ano yun sa mga na-share ko today? Adding relevance for Mylene, thank you. Relevance and what your target or what your market wants. Understanding my customers, whom I market to are really ones that need my solution, thank you. Target audience. Okay. Follow your framework, long copy works, calling out yung target spins, relevance, and the formula. Okay. Attention of your target audience. Great. Thanks, everyone. Again, that helps me know and understand that you are what specifically you're getting out of this this training. Now, as I shared with you earlier, and I know that the optimized ad in itself is very powerful for you when you're able to implement it. But I want to give you more because the ad that the optimized ad is just one among the 9 elements of what I call the profitable ads formula. It is a whole formula na when you're able to nail all of these different elements, then your ads can be unstoppable and tuloy-tuloy na yung profitability, which I want for you. So let me share with you what are the elements of these, what are the 9 elements of a profitable ad formula so that you can start to look at how am I implementing this? Is this a blind spot? Is this something I need to work on? Diba? Pag malaman mo, I need to work on this, then at least alam mo yun yung kailangan mong ayusin. Diba? Kasi para siyang kotse. I like using this example where let's say you have a car and then hindi na siya gumagana kasi nasira yung battery mo. Or parang, wala na yung battery mo. Deads na. Do you go ahead and replace your car? Or do you just change the battery? Same with this profitable ad formula. If you're running ads and it's not working, it's not because Facebook ads don't work. It's likely only because you are missing out on 1 or 2 or 3 of this formula. And when you fix those, then tuloy-tuloy na. Right? And that's what I want to share with you today. The first one is the niche. And we talked about this already, but hopefully you're seeing how important it is to have your specific target audience. Kasi dun pa lang, when you're clear on who your target audience is, what are the specific pain points, doon pa lang, that will tell you a lot already. That will dictate how you target your target market. That will dictate how you write in your copy by understanding who your niche is. If you're not familiar with the word niche, that's a term na napauso online talking about your specific target audience. But for me, more than your audience, it also talks about the specific problem that you're solving. Now, what I want to share with you here is sometimes kasi people will fear na if I niche down, if I go specific, won't I limit yung profitability ko? Parang hindi ba if I become specific, aren't I limiting myself? And the thing is, where there's a misconception here is we're not telling you na isa lang. We're not telling you that you should only have one target audience. Niching down and being specific is not about choosing one. It's about being specific. So for example, ako, I have a lot of niches, but it's about segmentation. Diba? I train sales teams to be able to increase their production by helping them with Facebook ads. I also help entrepreneurs or Filipino entrepreneurs grow their online business by teaching them Facebook ads. I also help online course creators all over the world to attract their ideal clients with the help of profitable Facebook ads. So notice na pare-pareho yung offer ko, Facebook ads. But I market it differently to sales teams, I market it differently to course creators, and I market it differently for Filipino entrepreneurs kasi they have different problems. But I'm not saying that you should only pick one. I'm saying be specific because when you're specific, your messaging becomes much more relevant. Alam ng mga tao na para sa kanila yung offer mo. Speaking of offer, the second element of the profitable ads formula is your offer. No amount of good budol marketing will make up for a bad offer. But at the very least, it will get people to buy pero disappointed sila. So you will have bad reputation. So at the same time, even if you have like poorly written copy or medyo sablay yung targeting mo, but you have a really, really good offer. If you have a really, really good offer, then that helps a lot with how you market and how you sell. That's why, yes, I teach people how to write good copy, how to set up their targeting, but in yourself, you want to be able to also know, how can I make my offer irresistible? Again, a financial advisor, if I were a financial advisor, I'm one among 100,000 Filipinos who are financial advisors. How can I make my offer more irresistible? Diba? Kahit na we're selling the same product, how can I make my offer more irresistible? And that's what you want to be able to develop. Diba? How can you make your offer something that people actually want? S is strategy. And when we talk about strategy, we're talking about how do you turn leads into sales? Kasi especially if you run Facebook ads, you're targeting a much colder audience. Diba? If you've ever had people refer to you, what you'll notice is pag referral, usually madali siyang maklose, madali siya maging sale. And ang expectation ng maraming tao is that kung ganito yung experience ko, kung mag-ads ako, madali ko na sila makuha ang sale. Pero pag mag-ads ka, you're targeting a group of people na hindi ka talaga kilala at all. At least ang referral, may stamp of approval ka. Uy, pare, try mo tong repair and maintenance service. Okay yan. So I'm recommending. But if you're doing Facebook ads, so like most of you, actually if not all of you now, diba, all of you now, ito likely yung first time na makilala niyo ako. Diba? And we want to be able to have that ideal strategy of how do we turn a completely cold audience into a sale? Because not everyone will be ready to buy. So you want to understand or want to have a strategy that turns cold leads into buyers. Kahit 1% lang sa kanila. And sometimes ito yung nagiging problem. Especially with sales professionals who try Facebook ads for the first time. Gusto nila, pag mag-ad sila, dadating na. And then magugulat sila, bakit kaya ang na-attract ko puro mga walang pera. Yun yung sinasabi, yun yung narinig ko madalas eh. Nag-try ako mag-Facebook ads pero na-attract ko walang pera. Can you let me know in the chat if you've ever experienced that? Diba? And for me, I do agree na like targeting plays a role in that, and we have ways to be able to help you reach people na mas may afford. But at the same time, I also believe that most people, they buy things they can't afford all the time. That's why we use credit cards. That's why we take out loans. We can't afford that house. We can't afford that car. But we'll buy it anyway. Because we will be attracting people who will say na, I can't afford. And that's really on us. It's not your responsibility to identify paano nila babayaran. But it's your responsibility to be able to show the value, to have a strategy that shows the value of your offer. So having that clear strategy in place as well will really just make your ads really, really powerful. Next, of course, is targeting. Ito yung favorite ng maraming tao. Pero targeting plays a big role. Of course, you're spending a lot, diba? You're spending a lot of money on ads. You want to be able to reach your target audience. So you want to know what interests there are to be able to reach them effectively. And ang very important dito is, again, to understand your target audience. What are they interested in? Diba? Ako yung usual hack na ginagamit ko dyan, ito and sabihin ko sa inyo, if you want to reach people who yung medyo mas may kaya, yung alam mong may cash flow na kaya nila mag-afford, usually I tend to target mga interests that I personally deem or judge as mayaman interest. Things like luxury bags or luxury products. Things like golf. Kasi feeling ko pag nag-golf yan, mayaman yan. Things like iPhone models. Diba? Kung naka-iPhone X yan, may pera yan. And you can target people based on yung iPhone model nila. Something you can use as well, you can target neighborhoods. So for example, feeling mo, where do you think rich people, in your own judgment, where do you think rich people live? So for example, ako, I've been to Ayala Alabang, I've visited friends there. Sa nakita ko, grabe, lalaki ng mga bahay dito. So feeling ko, Ayala Alabang, doon nakatira yung mga mayayaman. You can actually target Ayala Alabang. So, yun. So targeting things like that can help your ads in a very, very big way. S is setup. Sometimes, okay yung ad mo, okay yung targeting mo, pero mali lang yung setup mo. And sometimes what I've seen is, and you probably experienced this, yung nag-boost post ka pero wala kang nakuhang sale or wala kang nakuhang inquiry. All you got were people clicking your ad, liking your photo, pero wala namang nangyayari. That's because the setup was not optimized. Because if you do a boost post, more often than not, nagiging engagement campaign lang siya. So you're optimizing for your ad to be run for engagement and not really inquiries or sales. Which is why I always recommend doing it from Ads Manager so that the setup is completely within your control. S is scaling. Scaling is once you have your successful ad campaign, how do you actually scale for more volume? And there are multiple ways to scale. You can increase your spending, you can duplicate your ads, but for a lot of people naman, nakita ko, not for a lot, pero for some people, I've heard yung tipong, uy, okay yung ads ko and everything, tapos nag-scale ako. I added the budget, tapos biglang pumangat yung results ko, and then hindi ko na siya mabalik. Because there is a science and art to scaling. Basically, when you scale, you're going for more volume. And when you go for more volume, you're reaching more people. When you reach more people, yes, you can reach more potential customers, but you're also reaching more people who aren't ready to buy from you. So it does tend to increase your costs, and it does tend to lower your conversion rates. And that's fine. That's normal. Most people think na nasisira yung ads nila. That's not true. That is part of the scaling process. So when you scale, make sure that your returns and your costs are very, very good. Na even if they increase, you're still profitable. 20 to 30% budget, tinatanong ni Fritzy. Yes, that's what I do most of the time. But it's not the only way. It's not the only way. It's really best to test. Some people, they do it 100% and it works for them. Next is troubleshooting. For me, this is the most underrated skill when it comes to Facebook ads. And troubleshooting is basically how to know when your ads are not working. Because sometimes what people will do is will spend 10,000 pesos, walang makuwang sale, and just say, hindi gumagana sa Facebook ads. But again, like the car battery example, ano specifically hindi gumana? And I've given you certain metrics already in the training today on what I look at, click-through rates, conversion rates. But usually people look at costs. And for me, cost is not the best metric to look at. Especially ngayon, medyo mahal yung ads ngayon as compared to like the other days of the year. Medyo mas mahal kasi election ngayon. But what do we look at as well? For me, it's percentages. So really understanding what numbers to look at and then letting your numbers tell you what to do next or what to test next. It removes all of the overthinking from Facebook ads. And then finally, R is remarketing. Remarketing is the ability to follow up with your target audience because not everyone that you run ads to will be ready to buy the moment that they see you. Some will, and that will be good. Some will be ready to buy kaagad. But not everyone will. And if you're not doing things like remarketing to be able to follow up with people who have expressed interest in working with you, yun sayang. Kasi a lot of times, you're not ready to buy, but when people follow up, biglang mamaya ready na pala sila. Or you want to be able to show them like testimonials, social proof lang to be able to move them to buy. This is the reason why, if you've ever shopped sa Shopee or Lazada, you would probably look at certain items, mag-exit kayo, and then those same items follow you around the moment you go back to Facebook. So that's remarketing, that's retargeting, and that's possible with Facebook ads. It's a very, very important part of the profitable ads formula. So if this is something you want to dive deeper on, I go in depth into each one in a 3-part masterclass that I recently did, which is the profitable ads formula. So it's a 3-part masterclass. I think each part is around 3 to 4 hours. If you want to dive deep lang into these different topics to really, really make your ad campaigns really profitable, then I highly recommend you join this. The doors for this will open in a couple of days. So if you're interested in this, just wait sa email. I'll give the instructions there. So it's not open now, but in a few days it will be if you're interested in this. All right. So with that, before we end, I'd love to get to any questions that you may have na you coming into this wanted to learn na hindi ko na-tackle, or baka tawag dito, anything I've discussed earlier today, you wanted a follow-up question on, you can ask now and I'm happy to answer them. So if Facebook boost as effective as Facebook ads, not as much, simply because mas may control ka when you do your campaigns on Ads Manager. So technically, when you boost, those are ads as well. It's not, hindi lang siya, you just don't have as much control as compared to when you do it sa Ads Manager. Okay. Thank you, anonymous attendee. From Loreto, which is better, image ads or video ads? It's always best to test. There's no right or wrong here. It's always best to test. They say that Facebook prefers video. Pero, again, talking about relevance, di ba? Talking about relevance, a highly relevant image will still do better than a non-relevant video. Diba? So whether image yan, whether video yan, what you want is to make sure na relevant yung ad mo to your target audience, and it's best to test. No, so mag-run ka ng isang image ad, mag-run ka ng isang video ad, and then compare saan tayo mas may magandang results. How long should I run an ad? For me, I would like to wait 5 to 7 days. Sometimes kasi in the first 2 to 3 days, medyo weird pa yung results niya. And I've seen it over and over again. That's why may magsasabi sa akin, Julian, nag-run ako ng ads, it's been 2 days, wala na akong results. I would usually tell them to wait. Mas maganda yung mga results na nakuha in between the 5 to 7 day mark. So I would mas recommend kung mahaba mo siyang i-run as compared to, for example, 1,000 pesos yung budget mo. I would say na mas okay siyang i-run 1,000 pesos divided by 7 days versus 1,000 pesos na parang, let's say, 500 pesos per day, and you'll only run for 2 days. In my experience, mas magandang pinapahaba mo yung trial time. Thank you, anonymous attendee from Loreto. Which is more effective to convert, ads marketing or email marketing? Nakakatawa kasi, hindi man nakakatawa, pero it actually goes hand in hand. Again, the ad ideally, in general what we want is the ad to attract new people. So I mentioned retargeting earlier, but when I have an ads budget, 80% of it is to bring in new people. And then get their email address and things like that. And then when we have something to offer, then email marketing is what helps them move down the line to be able to check out your offer. So it's not one or the other. It's actually both. For me, it's actually both. So thanks, Loretta, for your question. From Jason, what's your way around pointing pain points of your clients without hitting the Facebook ad policies? Very good question. Sometimes kasi, di ba, for example, weight loss, you can't say something like, are you overweight? Diba? So the secret there, not secret, pero the goal there is to not call it out directly. Now, what I mean by that is, notice the difference here. If I say, are you overweight? You're not allowed to use that. But if I say something like, a lot of my clients approach me because they are overweight. What's the difference? The first one is, yung ad is asking, are you overweight? Are you experiencing depression? Are you finding it difficulty to save money? The word you, so you can use the word you sa ads, but you can't use it to call out directly pain point. Are you experiencing this? So what I usually do is I use third person. I say something like, we help overweight men effectively lose weight through the keto diet. We help we help teenagers experiencing depression manage their emotions and talk out their concerns with an objective third party. Diba? So I hope you're noticing the difference na I'm calling out the pain point, but I'm not assuming na ikaw na nagbabasa yung nakaka-experience yan. I'm saying that this is what I can help do. So doing things like third person. Another way that we get around it is by telling stories. By saying, this is how an overweight man who has tried everything was finally able to lose 30 pounds in just 3 months. You can't say something like, I will help you lose 30 pounds in 3 months. That's touching on a different policy. Pero you can say, parang kwento. You can do a case study. This is how a 30-year-old man was able to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. So yeah, hope that helped, Jason. So those are the questions in the Q&A. Let me just check kung may dumaan na questions sa chat. So yung class, yes, that's what the profitable ads formula is. You get added into a Facebook group as well where you can ask live questions. I go live in there as well so that if you want to learn more or if you have specific questions, then we can support you there. So yeah, if you are interested in joining that, abangan nyo na lang sa email in the next few days when we're opening for that. Kapag 5 days na tumataas yung cost, I turn it off na instead of going down, ang cost tumataas pa. So yeah, that's something you can do as well. No limit ba ang text when doing creative kasi images meron limit? No, that used to be the rule. dati we can only put 20% text on an image. Ngayon, pwede nang puro image yung text. So completely wala na yung rule na yon. Pwede kang text, or pwede kang mag-creative na puro text lang. Alright. So if there's nothing else, thank you everyone. Thank you for spending your Friday afternoon with me. I truly hope that this was something of value to you. Definitely when I designed this, it is meant to help you with your ad campaigns. So my hope is that you don't just let this I hope that you don't just let this learning na matabi lang siya in the corner of your mind. Please use it. The recording will be available tomorrow, so that you can review everything, take screenshots and everything. And if you wanted to learn further, if you want to take it a step further, I highly encourage you to join the Profitable Ads Formula. Abangan nyo lang in their email in the next few days the instructions on how to join that. So with that, everyone, thank you for joining me. Have a great weekend. And this has been the Optimized Ad Webinar with me, Julian Cañita. I am truly grateful for your time and attention. You could have literally done anything else. You could have left this webinar at any point, but you stayed here, and I'm truly grateful for you. And again, if you are interested in the Profitable Ads Formula, I will see you when doors open for that. Until then, thank you. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing your profitable ads and optimized ads in the future. With that, I bid you farewell. Have a great weekend, and bye-bye. Surprise! So I don't know how many of you are still left here, but if you're here, welcome to your after credit show. Yay! So I like doing these. So I don't know if you're if you're still here, but if you are, then great. We do have one more thing that I'd like to share with you. And this is especially helpful for you if you have ever said something like, yung marami naman nagme-message, marami naman nag-i-inquire, hindi lang bumibili. Diba? And I know from a lot of you who answered your the survey that we asked when you signed up for this training, I know a lot of people experiencing this, right? And this is what I want to help you out with if you are here, because there is one more level of awareness that I didn't discuss. So we talked about unaware, we talked about problem aware, we talked about solution aware. There is one more that I'd like to add, and that's what I call the your solution aware. These are the people na engaged with you already. They inquired with you, alam na nila that you have some sort of offer to help them out with what they want. Okay? So how do we approach these people? Usually kasi, ito yung mga inaabang lang, well, at least alam mo na, no, kung ready ka na, just buy from me. But the thing is, people who are aware of the solution, these are people who already want it. Yeah. And they already know that your product can help. So we want to look at what is preventing them from proceeding. Diba? If you see the value in my offer, what's preventing people from taking the next step? What's preventing them from proceeding? And these are what we call objections. And when our target audience is in your aware solution, meaning they know that you can help, but they're not proceeding to buy from you, these are people na may objections, may certain objections, whether it's with price, whether it's with timing, schedule, whatever. Diba? So our intention here in this particular segment is to bust their objections. Right? Now, first thing we want to look at is how do we know what their objections are? Kasi yun yung problem. If you're selling face-to-face, diba, someone comes into your store or may kausap ka over Zoom, how do you know what their objections are? Sasabihin nila sa'yo. But when we're doing it via ads, no, via messenger lang, via website, people don't readily give their objections. They'll just say na ang mahal, masyadong mahal for me, hindi pa sakto yung schedule, and they will just skip. So we don't have that open communication wherein they are open enough to tell you what their objections are. And if they don't share with you what their objections are, how can you ever know how to eliminate them and bust them so that they can proceed to buy from you? One way to find out is through questions that they have. Because when people ask questions, more often than not, there's an objection behind it. For example, when people say na, meron ba kayong installment plan? Because the objection is the price is just too expensive. And a lot of times when we answer these questions ng surface value lang, what tends to happen is people will have more questions. Oh, may installment kami. Ay, pwede bang meron pa ba kayong ibang discount na pwede? Because the more powerful way to answer questions is to identify the objections behind them and addressing those as well. So in this example, di ba, yung objection? Yung objection niya is price objection. But if we simply address the objection and say na, objection is mahal yan, and then ang response mas, hindi mahal yan, mas marami nga mas mahal dyan, amin na nga yung pinakamura eh. If you simply address the objection on surface level, then more objections will just appear. Diba? Sabihin nila, oo, mas mura nga, pero baka naman hindi naman as effective. Diba? Because there is one more layer deeper to the objection. When people have objections, it's because they have a belief behind it. They have a belief na hindi naman dapat ganyan kamahal. Diba? They have a belief na in our example earlier, magastos ang preventive maintenance. So when people have questions and when people have objections, the most powerful thing you can do is to change the way they think about it so that hindi na magkakaroon ng objection, hindi magkakaroon ng question. So I'll give you an example of this. So I personally experienced this having, for example, since we announced the profitable ads formula, let's use that as an example. Sometimes people will ask me, if I would sell a class or a course, how long is the course? And if I can easily say like, mga 10 hours, 12 hours. But if I don't handle the objection behind it, it's not as powerful as it can be. Because for some people, ang objection nila is if the course is too short, it's not worth it. So kailangan ko, minsan, I feel na kailangan ko i-defend na parang, hindi, ito yung super daming hours of courses and things like that. Because the belief is that the value of the course is in the amount of time it is. Diba? So my ad, diba, if my ad was very shallow, sabihin ko lang, the ad is 10 hours, the course is 10 hours long and it's packed with so much value. Versus if I can address the belief and saying something like, a lot of people ask me how long the course is. And what I notice is that they ask this because they believe that the value of a course is in the amount of time it takes, the amount of time it is. But how many free content do you have access to? Hours and hours of free content, but are not valuable enough to actually make a difference. Because the value of a course, the truth is the value of a course is not in the time it takes, but in the amount of time the course is, but in the amount of time it moves you from one stage to another. And that's why in the profitable ads formula, we take a look at the different elements so that you can start to look at the key elements that you need to work on that will make the biggest difference. And we have a Facebook group that will allow you to ask your direct questions so that you skip a lot of the guesswork and that you go straight to us, to me, to other experts to find out what can work better so that you can see results in a matter of days from enrolling. If this is something that you want to be a part of, simply click below to join the program today. Much more powerful than simply just saying, it's 10 hours long. And the funny thing is, if I answer the question, some people will think na masyadong maikli, some people think masyadong mahaba. Because the same question can lead to, can have a different objection. The same question, how long is the course, can be an objection that if it's too long, then I don't have time. So I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't answer the question. But if I dig deep to the belief, the belief that it's too long because I'm not committed, then we can address that in our ad. A lot of people ask me how long the course is, thinking that the value of the course is in the amount of time, or in thinking that if it's too long, they won't be able to maximize it. And the truth is, this isn't a matter of how long the course is. It's a matter of how willing you are to do the work it takes to make a difference. Because the truth is, if you change nothing, then nothing changes. And when you do enroll in the profitable ads formula, it will require you to do the work. But what I promise you is when you do the work, when you take the course, and when you ask for the support that will be readily available for you, that is when you start to see the difference in your campaigns. You'll see the difference in your business, and then even dare to say, see the difference in your life. And if this is the kind of change you want to experience, I highly recommend you join the profitable ads formula today. It's much more powerful. So our goal in the Solution Aware is to bust objections. And you can use this framework. It doesn't have to be exact, but you can use this framework to make that happen. Now, first is you identify the objection or the question. This is great, but I don't have the money. Or how long is the course? And then you can say, hey, listen, I get it. A lot of online entrepreneurs think that they're too busy, limiting belief. They're too busy to take another course. And it's easy to fall into that trap because reason why it's a commonly held belief. It's easy to fall into that trap because there are so many people teaching things like Facebook ads, doing funnels, email marketing. So there's that belief that it takes so much time to be able to master all of these things. Then they say, but if that were true, then provide counterexamples. But think about it. If that were true, then how come a lot of people, they just find the one thing, they stick to it, and it suddenly makes a difference in their business? Like me discovering Facebook ads and really sticking to it before I delve into anything else. Or my friend John, who discovered email marketing and ran with it even though he didn't know anything about ads or social media marketing. Then you can say, and you can even be consequence to holding on to the belief the more you choose to believe that thought. And you can even be wasting your time on so many different things that doesn't bring you money the more you choose to believe this thought. But when you start to realize that you share the new belief, thoughts like whatever the objection is start to become irrelevant, and you become open to whatever the inspired action is. But when you realize that when you choose a specific strategy to go with and you go all in with it, thoughts like I'm too busy to take another course start to become irrelevant, and you become open to testing what is out there, what can work for you, and sticking with it. And you become open to choosing one platform and sticking with it. And when you do that, a clearer path to desired result opens up. And when you do that, a clearer path to growing your business sustainably opens up. Let offer help get you there. Click below to avail of the offer today. Let the profitable ads formula get you there. Simply click below to enroll today. So I'll give you an example when I actually did this for a friend of mine. The question we addressed was, when will you open for enrollment again? So this is a different program. And then what we identified was the objection was, it's not the right time for me. That's why I'm asking, when will you open for enrollment again? Excuse me. And the belief behind it was, I can do this anytime, or I don't need this now. So using the framework I shared with you earlier, this is what it looks like. When will you open for enrollment again? Hey, listen, I get it. A lot of online entrepreneurs think that creating your own automated selling system can wait. And it's easy to fall into that trap because a lot of gurus out there distract us with fancy strategies like Facebook ads to TikTok. So we look to those instead of improving the way we sell. But think about it. If that were true, then how come a lot of online entrepreneurs are making 6 to 7 figures without having a big TikTok following or spending thousands on Facebook ads? And you could even be losing out to your ever-growing list of competitors even more the longer you choose to believe that thought. But when you start to realize that the earlier you start, the earlier you can get results, thoughts like waiting for the next enrollment period starts to become irrelevant. And you become open to looking at how you can improve your ability to sell online now. And when you do that, a clearer path to growing your business starts to open up. Let Inbox Society help get you there. Click below to enroll today. Right, so I hope that helped. That's definitely something to help move people down the funnel. Yeah. Any more questions? Please feel free to ask it. What are your thoughts about funneling platforms vis-a-vis the culture of Filipinos? It's definitely not as. I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question, but I'm asking. I'm thinking lang if you're asking about like funnels, how it is in the Filipino culture. It's definitely not as known or not as used here, but I still say it's very much effective, especially ako. So my specialty talaga is in digital products, and even before the pandemic, our go-to strategy have always been through like webinars, through live events, things like that. So yeah, it's not as used as fully used, but at least for me, and I know a couple of friends are teaching it as well, I still find value in its effectivity. Best option to suggest for ebook digital product. For me, for ebooks, kaya naman siyang diretso. Ang very important lang is you're not selling the book, but you're selling what the book can offer. I mean, a book is not, people don't want books. Like ako, I'm a big book reader, but in essence, I don't like books. I buy books because of what they can give me. Diba? So what you want to be doing is marketing what the book opens up for people. Diba? So if it's growing your business, you want to be able to show that your book is the best way for people to be able to start their business, for example, and positioning your book as the way to get there. Right? So yun lang, not focusing too much on the book, but focusing more on what it delivers. And then just positioning your book na if you want this, you can avail of my book, so you can learn the 5 steps to making this happen. Thank you for your question. All right. So if there's nothing else, thank you for sticking around. I know na nabawasan tayo lang like 80% because people don't expect an after credits on a webinar. Pero that's something fun I like doing as a Marvel fan myself. So thank you for those that stick around. And hopefully this additional lesson was very helpful for you. So again, thank you for spending your Friday afternoon with me. My name is Julian, and I'm very grateful that you're here. And until then, thank you everyone, and have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.